Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to A House of Many Doors. I had some terrible hiccups a little while ago, and I think they're gone now. They were very unpleasant. So we're still here in the Chimeric Empire. This place feels less interesting than the other sort of broad regions that we've been to, with the possible exception of the oil rig city, which seemed like kind of a cool idea. And I am eager to be elsewhere. However, a bunch of stuff reset because we saved and loaded here. We should probably take advantage. Let's attempt to explore the city again. Chimer fights bitterly against the patchwork men who currently occupy it, but it seems to tolerate your presence. You stumble across a patchwork soldier less fortunate than you. He lies blood-sodden at the bottom of a spike-ringed pit, occasionally raising his goose head into the air and honking disconsolately. Well, okay, that's a bummer. Listen. I live in a place where we have wild geese, and I'm not saying that I would like to see a goose fall into a spike pit, but if I did see a goose fall into a spike pit, I'd be like, that's a him problem. I'm gonna go the other way. You don't want to get close to a goose, is all. That's all I'm saying. It seems like it would be a mercy to everyone to shoot him dead. Also, we're probably not gonna successfully rescue him, and I'll risk Chimer's wrath. We're just gonna resolve the situation quickly for everybody. You raise your pistol and shoot the poor patchwork between the eyes. He expires with a sigh. See, he liked it. The stone faces mutter darkly. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. I guess we gotta go back to the Emperor's court. So last time we went and found the Emperor, and it was a bad time, but we know not to choose that option again. I'm gonna try to locate the Emperor again. Once again, he is in the kitchens, and we are not going to attempt to discuss military affairs. You know, he probably hears a lot of flattery from everybody, but also maybe he just really likes flattery. Let's try it. I say, Emperor, your robes are much cleaner than usual today, which is a thing I would totally know about. The Emperor bursts into wheezing, high-pitched laughter and slaps you on the back. For the rest of the evening, you have his undivided attention, while the other patchwork courtiers glare at you with hatred and envy. Okay, well, +1 reputation. I guess that's fine. That's an okay outcome. And with that, are we just bailing? I mean, we should probably restore sanity. Yeah, that was pretty effective. We can't buy anything, so yeah, I guess we're just going. I don't exactly know... What's my plan? Let's have a look at the map and figure it out. Well... We do have a passenger who wants to go to Failbetter Quinn. Of course, I would like to come back here with more money. But we can swing through all this stuff. We have a couple of things to get done. I mean, alternatively, we could just go to the archives. The Unmoving Star is not a real city, right? I'm wondering if we could bring back enough reports to the City of Keys to get ourselves, the 2,300 guineas that we need for the Golem Cannon before we head out this way. My suspicion is yes. So we have a ton of fuel. We don't need to spend any money on fuel for a long time. Yeah, let's try it. We'll go through the archives of Tank, and we'll head back home from there. I bet we can put the money together, and I do want a weapon that's going to help us with boarding combat. I also still need to also I didn't get spooked that time, so maybe I'm finally adjusting. We also still need to wait. Oh, what happened to... Wait, who was this? Who was in this slot? I don't even remember. Wait, Argul? Yeah. This was, Huh. Why did he die? We engaged in combat. Oh man, combat can totally kill your upper deck crew, can't it? That's, man, even more reason not to engage in combat. Like, I'm trying to engage in the game systems here, but it does suck a little bit that is a way that you can lose people. I guess it makes sense diegetically and everything, but it sucks a little bit that you can lose plots to the honestly pretty not good combat system. And it's also a bummer because, like, I feel we were getting pretty close to the end of Banjo's thing, and also Banjo was one of my favorite crew members. So, huge bummer all around there. And dead people are dead, right? I'm trying to remember. Is this a fictional setting where the dead don't really die? No, being immortal's a big deal, right? It's that guy we're hunting for Ashen. It's like being immortal is a thing. It's. I think I'm recalling Fallen London. In Fallen London, death doesn't work right, or maybe it's Sunless Skies or something. I was reading a little bit about Fallen London over the weekend, so that may be the source of my confusion. I was thinking about trying to actually play the Fallen London browser game. I may yet. Alright, back to the Archives of Tank, let's visit. There is no end. Oh yes, the teeth, right. I pay my due and I do not describe it. You find one of the newer paper columns. The old and yellowing ones are generally filled only with the sins of the dead. Cranking the handle, you scan the scrawlings for items of relevance. The archivist's definition of sin is warped. You scan through endless trivialities, the names of those who fail to clean their teeth properly, or those who play music on a scar day. Oh, how dare they. Finally, though, you find something special. Lord Shagfoal, a shrouded counselor in the City of Masks, has more sins by his name than any other name you've seen. Affairs and murders and worse. Okay, incriminating evidence. I do like the sorts of things that we can do with incriminating evidence. Can I spend time with my pet? Yeah. Give me that sanity. Can't buy any books. Why would they let me buy any of the books? So did we want to... I mean, we may as well hit the unmoving star before we head back. It's right there. Yeah, man, bummer. It's a bummer to have lost Banjo's quest that way. Again, I do think it's good that you can lose people's quests. I like sort of... It might not even be that is a thing that's good as much as it's a thing that's novel, but I am definitely responding to the novelty of it. Honestly, I think it's good for your actions to be able to have serious consequence. Although I will say it was an unpleasant surprise in this particular case, because I kind of forgot it was a thing. Alright, donate some guineas. That's a nice cheap sanity gain. I really appreciate that it seems like as the train gets longer, we take less and less damage from accidentally crashing it into stuff. Because it is getting harder to not accidentally crash it. Are we... Yeah, we're good. I don't even remember where the Golem Cannon is. Is it in Eld Aberthat? That might be right. Here to the unmoving star. Oh, we've never been here before. This is new. This got filled in our map at some point. 33 apprehensions, not bad. A cold sun, thousands of miles across, stolen by the house from some unfortunate solar system. Also, this is kind of an unfortunate part of the house. Let's just spend a day in contemplation. It is true, the darkness cannot reach us here. A respite. You cannot look directly at the star, of course. Not if you want to keep your sight. Well, okay, that was something. And then I cuddled my rhinoceros. Can't buy anything from the star. Well, I mean, that's cool. Man, maybe I do just want to go all the way out to Failbetter Quinn. Yeah, you know what? I'm totally going to. Let's drop the customer off. I wonder if there are limits to how often you can bring back the news from a place. Like, if we get Eld Aberthat news right now, and then go back home, and then swing back out to Eld Aberthat, Blinding Hooch. Well, it's not nothing. And then immediately swing back out to Eld Aberthat, will we still be able to get more news, or... This is maybe an okay time to find out, although, also, it's not a thing that matters at all, so... In a very real sense, who cares? Oof. I don't know if this happens to everybody, but after I have the hiccups, I can feel like... I don't have the hiccups a lot. It's not a thing that happens to me frequently, but like I can get pretty bad hiccup attacks. I don't know, like they're real strong, and they're kind of painful, and they continue for a long time. And after, I feel like I have a bruise in my esophagus, like just in the center of my chest. I can feel it. It is not pleasant. Who invented hiccups? What sort of madman would do such a thing? Okay, I don't know where I'm going. I'm doing a terrible job of navigating the train here. Oh, nope. I did not do a good job of dodging. I'm gonna just get away. We could absolutely take him, but like, why? It's not worth it. Alright, gather news. Visit the archaeological digs. Let's wander the screws a bit. For several hours you walk up and down. Okay, yeah, pretty similar experience to the ones we've had in the past. Let's try to find a way out. Seems like we maybe shouldn't even come in here. We fail, we get a horrifying ordeal, we lose some sanity, it's fine. Cromlech tracks us down, because he's the best... What, is he our boyfriend? He's the best man goat that a person's ever had. He's my goat man. I don't know what that... Listen, we're not putting labels on it right now. Preach the word of Angle Crab, they kind of like it. They kind of like it when we do this here. Yeah. At some point, we'll be able to just, propitiate Angle Crab. Yeah, visit the archaeological digs. Let's steal free stuff. Or should I be gaining a reputation? I'm gonna steal stuff. I like stealing stuff. Oh, it's just an effigy. I was hoping it was gonna be something a little cooler. Okay, is this the place? This is a place where you can buy golems. I'm gonna sell all my paraphernalia while we're here. We do have an occult relic. Do we have a use for this occult relic? I'm not 100% sure which stories we're still on at this point. Specimen candles. There's that whole blinking eyes on the ceiling thing we gotta worry about. We have a fetch mirror, right? Yeah, we have a fetch mirror. So we just gotta make it back to the City of Bridges for the Ashen thing. Oh, we gotta talk to Char. That's a good point. Char's dead? Wait, maybe Char's not dead. I don't know. Find a key. Yeah, easier said than done. We gotta go back to Failbetter Quinn anyway. So we still have Banjo's quest and Char's quest. Maybe they're like off the train, but retrievable? Maybe. Let's hope. Because I would like to finish their quests. Alright, I don't know that there's a lot else for us to do here. We should probably just get a move on. I mean, recovering sanity here is not super expensive. I guess we should do that. It looks like it's recovering a random amount, or like it's a different amount each time. So I guess there's maybe just always a random factor. And so maybe that's what we were observing with our pets earlier. Alright, is there anything... We probably should have talked to the guys in that blimp. We might have been able to... What do we have? An obsidian statue. You know what? Let's just smash it for some sanity. It was already the case that we could propitiate cobblestone, but I appreciate you refreshing me on that. I wonder what happens if you successfully propitiate a god for their favor. Enter the cottage, find a free golem. It's not clear to me whether we're actually going to need deactivated golems as ammo for the golem cannon. I assume so, but I have missed Failbetter Quinn entirely. I assume so, and if it is the case, it's not like that's going to be a huge hardship because there are golems everywhere. We accidentally acquire them all the time. But it will mean that we need to basically set aside a big chunk of the hold for just holding ammo. Let's gather news. We have never succeeded at this challenge so far. drop off our passenger, pick up a new passenger for the City of Masks, easy enough. And I guess we should hit the stupefaction baths, right? Every time we're here. Keep on delving. Alright, head deeper. The third and final maze. This one only has 3 levels. Alright, the walls are lined with distorting mirrors. Your own face twists and stretches around you. Your heart is a stone die rattling in your chest. Steam hollows you out and lives inside you. You dream of Eld Abrathat, of mud-caked archaeologists scraping through centuries of sediment. One of them uncovers something huge and squat, an engine the size of a house, sitting in a web of ancient cables. The dream skips in time, as dreams do. A crane is lifting the engine from its pit. The prince will reward us, says one of the archaeologists. You skip forward again. Ink-splattered servants are dragging the same battered ancient engine through a tunnel of bookshelves. Then the library is consumed by fire. Burnt scraps flutter. You find yourself staring at a flaming orb ever so briefly, before your retinas are burned black. A place no one can look. Apparently that's a clue to the location of the City of Glass. I don't see the clue in there personally, but I'm glad our character's on top of it. Head deeper. How many of those do we have now? Like 3? You walk through a garden of glittering trees. You walk through a charnel corridor, your feet skidding on blood. You walk past 8 portraits of children. You walk under the gaze of a mountain. Steam billows out your silk robes and carries you along like an infant, even as you slip in and out of consciousness. You are almost there. A young boy in dour clothes is standing ahead, looking back with mingled disappointment and disgust. My mother is after you. He fades like a stain. And then I have to make an insight check, and our insight's real bad, right? Because was Char giving insight? I think... What a bummer. Hey, what a surprise. I failed the challenge. Somehow you end up back at the entrance lobby. What a bummer. So yeah, we're just going to have to hard pass a difficult insight challenge in order to finish that delve, huh? Well, maybe we'll get there. Dreams beckon you? A flash of movement to the corner of your eye, a flailing figure falling from nowhere that vanishes as it hits the ground. A shadow passes overhead, a leviathan monster carrying a screaming pajama-clad man in one fist. It strides between shadows and disappears. Gaze at any of the bizarrities too long and they vanish. This is the height of impoliteness. Somewhere in the city, the dreamer is startled and awakened. Okay, well, we'll just look without looking, you know? You'll be able to see amazing things if you allow them only to hover at your periphery. You walk until your feet hurt and take in all the dreams around you, gazing just past them or behind them and allowing them to intrude on your vision. By allowing the edges to seep in, you begin to understand the broader shape, the shape of the city's collective dream. Worries, fears, hatreds, and loves. You begin to notice a pattern. The very worst nightmares are nearer the center of the city. Dream monsters, very similar to the manifestations you've encountered in the house's darkness. There's something foul at the heart of Failbetter Quinn. A vacant, poison thing. Restless and trapped. Your comprehension slips away as fast as it formed. But okay, fragments of an epiphany, that's something. So I guess it's time to go. Anything that we want to sell here? No, we don't have any of this stuff. Alright, well, let's bounce. Of course, it was lovely as always. Guess we're heading through Gandola on the way back. I mean, we may as well do the full loop. So let's go to Gandola and then drop south to Hextall. Straight west and then straight south. I really thought that the Golem Cannon was a thing you bought at Eld Abrathat. Well, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's certainly not a thing of immediate great import. Because we are continuing to avoid combat. I think we still have to hunt down those priests of Anglecrab, right? I think that's a quest we didn't do yet, although I don't remember who that quest was for. I don't remember why we were doing that. It's freaking me out a little bit. that every time we enter a room, it looks like our cargo cars sort of like flail out of space and time next to us for a moment. Not every time we enter a room, apparently, but a couple of times now it has happened, and the flicker of motion at the corner of my vision is actually real spooky. Alright, Gandola, let's gather news. The trout has been especially delicious recently. The Firefighters Guild has foiled another arson attack by pyrophile apes. The mayor has donated half his wealth to helping Gandola's impoverished. You made 5 friends just asking about this. See, we should just hang out here. Let's wander the walkways a bit. One of the fishers offers you her spare rod. Keep what you catch, she promises. Okay, I'll cast the rod. I failed. After hours of solemn contemplation of some muddy water, you haven't even seen a fish, much less caught one. Well, I mean, it's kind of the idea. You don't usually see them, is my impression. Alright, let's rest and recover, because it's very cheap to do so here. Although I guess, well, I was going to say, if we're headed back home, we probably don't even need to spend the money, because we can just go to the City of Angels. But I guess there is a little bit more travel to do before that happens. Blinding Hooch is super cheap and easy to get a hold of. But man, this is a bad sell price. Yeah, I'll hold on to it rather than do that. And then we may as well also spend some time with our pet. And south we go. To a Skull City. You know, there's an awful lot of Skull Cities, it feels like. I can't remember. We're definitely able to advertise for crew outside of the City of Keys. Are the only places we can advertise for crew the 6 proper cities? And I mean also maybe the City of Glass, who knows. Okay, sorry about the jump cut there. My OBS just stopped recording. And it looks like I noticed pretty quickly, didn't miss but like 1 or 2 rooms. But that was weird. Okay, anyway. We found an abandoned cottage. Enter the cottage. Recruit a guy. Make him a swabby. How's my crew do? Okay, we are now full. Oh my god, the turning radius. That's fine. Just turn the train with enough force that you drive a car clean through the cottage. Alright, where am I relative to the place we're going? Okay, we're still a couple of tiles north. It does seem like there are a lot more obstructions actually in the way from doorway to doorway in this part of the house. I guess it's just the rooms are packed with much more garbage. Alright, Hextall. We are supposed to be doing some research. You search through indices, appendices, and old land leases. You dig through archaic registers, you blow the dust from crumbling scrolls, and you venture so far into the Incarnate Library that you find the skeletal remains of another brave wanderer. All, of course, to no avail. You find no mention of the cities of gods. That's a terrible waste of our time. Oh, apparently I'm allowed to just keep trying it, though. Tucked inside a book of ghost philosophy, you find a singed note. In the City of Angels, they burn all references to their past, it warns in hysterical handwriting. But I rescued a book from the fire and learned of the truth. The City of Angels is rightly called Cloister, a city of gods, and the angels there did cast down their masters. Okay, that's something. Apparently I could keep researching if I want. Halfway through a multi-volume history on the Empire thread, you discover a single reference to the short-lived Deicivic heresy. Apparently a group of threaded heretics claim to have discovered proof that Bissus, the Empire's capital, was built on the ruins of Sanctum, the greatest city of the gods. The Imperator hunted them down and saw personally to their mass execution. Okay, I wonder how many different pieces of information we can get here. You find a book collecting the myths of the City of the Gods. Most of it is supposition on the cause of the city's downfall. Rebellious angels, an unforgivable crime, a divine civil war. But it also contains interesting speculation on the 7th City of Gods, called Icon, which, or so the book claims, refused to fall into ruin like its fellows, instead assuming the form of a man and walking south to seek refuge in the thriving necropolis to which it exiled its dead. A thriving necropolis, you say? 24 books discuss the city ruins of Misericord, far south. Explorers' journals, academic treatises, religious screeds. No two writers can agree on much beyond its name, but 3 or 4 point out that it may once have been the 5th city of gods. Alright. You skip through dozens of books, all useless, and are ready to give up in despair when you happen up a study of ancient prophecies from Buzzard's Omen. The vulgar prophet Hummingbird, and all prophets are mad and untrustworthy, but this one especially so, claimed Lichgate, the 2nd city of gods, lay far to the south, behind a locked door, that it held back forces of ablution. One day, he said, it would ultimately bring about the house's destruction. Okay, that makes sense. That is consistent with some things we already know. I'm assuming we can get 7 clues this way, right? Several treatises expound on the archaeological revelations beneath Eld Aberthat. Cathedrals, temples, the fragile bones of angels. One particular paper assures you that no serious scholar accepts the claim that Eld Aberthat was built over Narthex, one of the fabled cities of gods. Okay, that doesn't really seem like a thing that's worth researching, but I guess make the note. Okay, that was all of it. And then, gather news, attend a lecture. We'll take this lady out for another meal. But then, we're just gonna talk. As the night draws on, Hassan seems to grow tired, unguarded. She begins painting her fellow academics in less than flattering terms, and even makes a bitter off-color joke about visitants. Hey, I'm one of those. Actually, we're kinda all... You know what I mean. I don't really want to laugh at the joke. That sucks. Don't do that. Such jokes aren't funny, especially from someone in her position. You gotta stand up to people and call them out on their shitty behavior. For a moment, Hassan seems ready to shout at you, but she suddenly deflates. I apologize, she says. You're right, that was beneath me. Please don't repeat that to anyone. That's the kind of thing that ruins careers. I suspect I won't be reincarnated either way at this point, but I cling to hope. The rest of the conversation is stunted. Finally, you part ways, a sour note still lingering between you. Well, we may as well recover sanity here before we leave. I should play with the pet first, because it could save us one, right, like we definitely over-sanitied there. I could have saved a little bit of money. I will gladly sell all my treatises here. Do we need volumes of poetry? You know what, we might be able to put those in the museum and conjure a little tiny bit of beauty that way, maybe? Also, Moncton Slurry. Okay. We don't have anything that is appropriate for this place. So... I guess I could have done this in such a way that we got to... Alright, let's go to the Scars of Sheng. We'll go east and then we'll double back. As long as we're out here, we may as well gather all the news so that when we head back to the City of Keys, we get very paid. Is the Scars of Sheng where the Golem Cannon was? Maybe. My memory is so bad. And this is a thing that I considered making room for in the log, just writing down the locations of all the important things we might want to buy. But then I forgot to do that. It turns out, if your memory is bad enough that you can't successfully use memory aids, then you get you get into a kind of a real awkward cycle there. All right, let's explore the city. Crowds of concerned are gathered at the wound edges, pushing them together. Oh, the High Temple to the Gods Forsaken is split open messily. I just skipped a whole line. An overripe peach, sloughing gouts of blood and marble onto the streets below. I feel like we should help out with this, probably. Oh, interesting. You have a thread so strong it combines stone. Apparently that's a thing that exists. Huh. Yeah, I can help out. Fill buckets. Push against the walls. You join the wall pushers, heaving against the marble with all your might while the bucket swillers slosh blood back through the gaping wound. After hours of work, the crowd managed to narrow the wound, although the blood is still flowing freely and the temple may yet bleed to death. You are coated in gore and sweat, having worked harder than anyone. The crowd disperses, exhausted. At the very least, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Yeah, we got some reputation. Cool. The temple will need months of intensive masonry. Well, that's good. Hey, look, we're out here doing real, actual good. And our rhinoceros loves us for it. Okay, yes, this is where the golem launcher was. Okay. Well, we'll have to come back later. You know, that was the plan. So wait, I think we actually want to go north north 2 tiles, and then west. I'm very eager to get a hold of some keys, man. Unfortunately, I don't think we even have, like, a hint of how to get one. Much less the 2 that we would need. To say nothing of the other things that we've found that we might do with keys, like all of these doors that are immediately to our east here. I wonder if keys are like a completing major plots level reward. And the idea is that you just have to... This is a really annoying place for the notes thing to be. I don't want to fight him. Let's try to wake the dreamer. Let's try to flee. Okay. I don't want to do combat. I want to leave. Well, that's... Okay, we're leaving. I mean, listen. Our train's real fast. We can certainly leave. Also, my stats are all screwed up. That's not helping. We desperately need to refill the crew. Alright, got nothing. Not that we were likely to find a book that would have meant anything to us anyway. I don't even remember. Who's B? Oh, B is the woman who asked us to go seek the prince's heart in the first place. That's right. I remember. Every once in a while. I would say once every year or two. I'm good for remembering a single thing. I wonder what this is actually going to do for us, though. Oh, wait, you are after me. Buy something? Dragon spice. I don't really want any dragon spice. Farewell. You are not after me. You just happened to turn as I turned. You know, I really do appreciate that sort of civilized criminality. Sure, we got things to do to people, but there's no reason we have to be cruel about it. Alright, let's tell the Eye about the... Oh, wait. Let's return to B. She's the one who should find out about the heart's true whereabouts. She meets you at the same cafe where she first bought you tea. You explain the situation to her, then hand her the heart's letter and wait. At first, she smiles as she reads. Then she reads on, and the smile curdles and dies. She goes steadily paler and paler. Finally, she drops the letter as though it suddenly caught fire. What? What does it say? He begins by talking about his eternal love for me, says B, which is odd since he never contacted me after we slept together. And there's paragraphs and paragraphs. At one point there's a poem. I won't make you suffer through the poem. Then, well, the tone changes. He says he's going to rule the Principate alone soon, sooner than I might think. And he wants me to be his queen. She stares at you, alarmed. I was worried about him because I care about him, but I'm not a bloody fool. Is he planning a coup? I don't want any part of this. Well, he assured me he wasn't planning anything of the sort. You need to go to the Prince's Eye and tell him what the heart's been up to, says B. I don't think the Principate could survive having the heart in charge. It's hard to leave his orbit intact. Thank you for helping me put this to rest, at least. She grabs a random assortment of coins from her bag and scatters them on the table. Then she stands up, pressing a hand to her red-rimmed eyes. I have to go. You need to tell the Eye about this, please. She hurries from the cafe, knocking over a plate of croissants. Well... I mean, I wasn't going to, but now... Maybe she's right? I wonder if telling the Eye about the heart's whereabouts... There's a couple of ways this could go, though, right? Like, he could agree with the heart's conclusions, which seem to be right, to be fair. Like, you know, it is definitely in their best interest to figure out a way to survive beyond the prince. But also, he might have enough... he might have enough loyalty to the prince to want to put this nonsense to an end. Let's gather news first, in case we need to get out of here in like a real hurry, you know? And then I guess, cuddle my rhino. May I feel like that option should be higher up. submerge ourselves in color and spectacle. More cultural knowledge. How much of that do we have? How much of it do we need? Oh, you've been invited to a private ball in the Tower of Billowing Silk. A dirigible will sweep you up to the prince's shimmering palace. A polite young squid-headed thing takes your hat and coat as you climb into the blimp. The prince's guests are esoteric as ever. Of course, there are principate aristocrats in attendance, but also an assortment of famous scholars, performers, summoners, and visitants of unusual aspect. All are breathless with excitement as they ascend to the tower. The ball itself is a magnificent event. Your feet glide across a floor of shimmering taffeta. The air is heavy with intoxicating incenses and drug smoke. Tigers and lionesses prowl freely across the dance floor. The prince himself is not in attendance, though the prince's mouth gives a speech and the hand drifts and mingles with effortless charisma. A guest approaches you toward the end of the evening, her eyes black, god smoke curling from her nostrils. She describes her upbringing in another world. A trillion-strong population was kept in drugged trances, living in dreams while a cabal of elites struggled to repair a planet that was dying. She smirks at your expression and assures you that it was actually not that bad. Okay, weird. I mean, a glimpse of another world is not like a super valuable resource or anything, so that was just like a weird thing that happened. Alright, repair our train, because it's real easy and cheap to do so, and I guess let's do this. I'm going to trust B's judgment here, because I don't know what the hell's going on in Founder's Fire. The eye listens to your story in silence, stirring his cement-thick coffee. When you are finished, he stares out the window for some time. Follow me, he says finally. He escorts you to a waiting dirigible. It ascends toward the Tower of Billowing Silk, while the eye sits by your side and gently dozes. As the dirigible levels with the floating tower, a banner of taffeta unfurls to meet you, forming a fluttering bridge carpet. When you step out onto it, it feels like solid ground. Inside the tower, it looks almost like a normal palace. Chandeliers hang from the ceiling, censers puff incense-laden clouds. The walls are covered in portraits of a handsome young man you assume must be the prince. But walls, ceiling, floor, everything is silk, rippling, ephemeral. Occasionally the wall will billow up and flash you a sickening glimpse of the city miles below. Yo, I would hate being in here. Finally, you stop before a set of heavy gold curtains, guarded by a dozen armor-imprisoned bronze men. The prince is waiting, says the eye, and steps into the throne room beyond. We part the curtains. Wow, that's a lot of reputation. The prince sits on a throne of gold and marble, a glittering jeweled crown upon his withered head, dressed in robes of crimson silk and ermine. He is mouthless, skin stretching featurelessly between his chin and nostrils. Eyeless, too, hollow sockets gazing blankly at the ceiling. His arms end at the elbows. A dozen tubes are inserted into him, pumping various liquids in or out. His breathing is shallow and ragged. He has nothing to speak with, and nothing to write with, but the eye seems to know what he wants to say, or what the eye wants us to think he wants to say. You are to be recommended for bringing this matter to our attention, says the eye. The heart is clearly entertaining delusions of personhood, unfit for an organ of the state. Okay, that's pretty clever. Rest assured that he will be captured and swiftly returned to the prince's ribcage. A servant hurries into the throne room with your reward. A chest of glittering coins, and a clockwork music box that plays tinkling songs from other worlds. Those who serve us well are duly rewarded, says the eye. Remember that. Until now, the prince has been as silent and unmoving as a block of wood. Now he shifts, waving one of his shortened limbs at his tubes and puffing furiously through his nostrils. The eye starts adjusting dials until finally the prince settles back into his throne, calm once more. Thank you again, says the eye. Now go, and do not breathe a word of the prince's condition. I don't know that I could. I don't feel like I know anything about it. You return to the waiting dirigible. Founder's Fire lays out beneath you like a carpet as you descend. Okay, well, I think I'm probably just going to turn around and go buy that golem cannon. Do we want to sell stuff? I mean, we really don't need reputation here. We have so much reputation here now. I guess we'll just Yeah, I guess we'll just go. I don't think we need to pick up anything in particular. We could sell our glimpse of another world, but like, why? Yeah, alright. To the east. Let's go get our golem cannon so we don't have to worry about it again later. So I need to go east a bunch. Don't want to drop south too quickly, because there's no point in going back to Hextall, I can't imagine. So we have at least a couple of golems on board already. If it came right down to it, we are ready to use this thing. But, like I've been saying, I think we're going to do our best to avoid combat where possible. It's too... The reward is very, very low. And the risk is not, like, super high. But it doesn't have to be very high for it to be not worth a very, very low return, right? Because apparently we can, like, lose whole plot lines. And in a sense, I'm, like, bummed out because, oh no, content. We're missing content. But in another very important sense, equally important sense, there's loot attached to the end of these quest lines, right? Like, we're at the point now where we're starting to scoop up occult relics more often, and who knows? Maybe there are keys attached to some of them. That would be nice. I don't know how else we might get one. I wonder with the keys, if there's a very limited number of them. I think that's how I would do it. I would make it so that you had to make some real difficult choices with your keys. But we know you must be able to get at least 2. This visit can probably be pretty quick. I will blow up your ship. Hooray! We live to fight again. We got a Mycena prisoner and some honey and a thing. Those guys aren't so bad. You know, all you gotta do is pass the event. Very low reward, or very low risk, reasonable-ish reward. Okay, may as well help out with this. You know, what we needed was more reputation. I mean, I don't even know, like, are we going to be able to do anything with all of this reputation? Does it actually help us? Let's buy one of you, and then go in here and replace one of the long guns. 1 use per battle. Okay. Seems pretty good. Alright, now, back to where we were going. I hear the dog has found her very loud toy again. You know, she has such a good time with it. You can only be kind of mad. So, we may as well head down to the City of Masks, right? Since we got to drop a passenger off anyway. And I mean, if we're going to go south, yeah, all right, all the way to Pen Pusher's friend over at Old Hallow. We still haven't done that, huh? I feel like we've been back to the City of Masks a bunch of times since we got that quest. I'm surprised that I never thought it would be worth it to go and resolve the thing. Oh good, a meandering treatise. Yeah, sorry about the dog. It sounds like maybe she is being agitated out there. Perhaps not making the decision to be super loud entirely on her own, which is, You know, it's is what it is. Oh, good. Grimoires 2. Man, I feel like so many of the random encounters we can have out here just like have no results that I'm actually interested in. We may as well continue to accumulate stuff because, you know, it's worth some money. It provides some value, but I do sort of wish we could just get from place to place a little faster. And I mean, I guess we can, right? There's still another movement speed upgrade that is available to us. And I guess at this point, all of our money can go toward that, really, right? don't have a lot of other pressing concerns at the moment. Search for a drink. Nothing. We have found real drinks once or twice, right? No, no reason to attack. Just hoping I could trade some information. Alright, where the hell are we relative to it? So we're still, it looks like 2 or 3 tiles too far to the north. It is a... Oh, that's right. That's right, there's a bunch of locked doors in this area. This is the dangerous area where we have, on many occasions... I'm pretty sure I just crashed into myself there. The dangerous area where we have, on many occasions, just wandered into the backside of a door. Let's go ahead and go west. Oh, apparently we've collided with some dudes. The Jagged Sands. They just brought the information right to me. Where is this? Okay. That's the Jagged Sands, and apparently there's a lot of stuff down south that we have yet to explore. And we will totally examine that at some point. Maybe that'll be what we do after we make it back to the City of Keys. Because, like, a trip to the south is worth an awful lot of money. You get some really good distance bonuses on the news from the cities down there. And there is certainly something to be said for money still. I was saying earlier that we're basically out of things to spend money on. There really are only a couple of things left that we want to do, but between the two of them, they cost about 10,000 guineas total, right? And then also, you know, there's expanding our lodgings in the City of Keys, which I assume will have some significant benefit, given the price. It damn well better have some significant benefit. Would you guys like to trade stories for map information? No, but you would sell me whiskey I don't care about, for a price I don't care about. I mean, at least it's fair, right? I do wonder if we were able to successfully decipher books, I wonder if that indecipherable tome would make the library events more interesting. Well, we got a haunting vision that time. I assumed it would give us a glimpse of another world, so I didn't bother to read it. Have we gotten haunting visions from those before? There might still be, you know, some like very low frequency outcomes that we have yet to see, I suppose. Maybe I shouldn't click through the events so quickly. Alright, are we in the appropriate row yet? No, we need to go south one more time. Well, this seems like a good time for it. And it'll be good to be back in the cities, because we can advertise for crew again. I would very much like to not have 2 of my crew slots empty. Yeah, our guts is really bad, and our guile is pretty bad. I guess our guts was never really great. Interesting. It just didn't... Okay. I will flee from that. I don't want to interact with these guys. Whoa, that was weird. Come on. Maybe don't respawn them directly on top of me. There we go. This whole spatial reality thing is very cumbersome. Alright, we're close. Finally, we are close. And I guess while we're here, we can do the Priest of Anglecrab thing for Delgado's quest. I am awfully curious what happens. I assume that the whole Clockwork Demon thing can't possibly work out. Okay, let's get a glimpse of another world and then just leave this dude here. Not that we really need a glimpse of another world. But I don't know, maybe Delgado's story can lead to a way out of the house. I would be pretty surprised if a crew story could lead you to a real ending in that way. Like, from a game structure perspective, that seems unlikely to me. But I guess Who knows? Maybe they're willing to do something audacious. Alright. Penpusher is eager to meet the exiled Hammerhead. Let's just jump right to it. Penpusher's contact is instantly recognizable. Well, I would imagine so. An 8-foot Hammerhead Karcher sitting at the bar, tiny eyes separated by a long wedge of brown flesh. There is a certain straight-backed pomposity to his bearing, the kind of confidence that congeals around the wealthy and well-bred. His tankard of cider hovers in the air next to him, as though sitting on an invisible table. He could simply use the bar, of course. He must be showing off for your benefit. "This is Atheling," gushes Penpusher. "The one good Hammerhead left." Yeah, charmed, I'm sure." "There is rot at the heart of the Kelp Fortress," drawls Atheling. I'm not going to do a drawl. His voice is a bass rumble from somewhere in his midriff. "The other Hammerheads have lost all interest in serving our faraway queen. If we could remind them of their queen's awful abyssal will, we could return to the fortress." He dips his head to Penpusher. "And with her mandate, we could do anything. Even teach them to read." "So what do you need Penpusher for?" "I need someone who can read books on summoning," rumbles Atheling. "You and I, Penpusher, can summon the Salt Cove Queen into the house. Restore the old monarchy to the Karchar, as the gods of our old world intended." Penpusher claps his hands in delight. "And then she can teach them to read. I must draw up a list of recommended texts." "That doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Should I say that, though?" Here's the thing. If dude really cares about their queen, probably the best thing for her would be to not be summoned into the house, right? I'm going to say that's a good idea because Penpusher seems excited about it, and I'm going to trust him on this. He knows way more about this whole deal than I do. But this seems like it's dooming their queen eternally, right? I don't know. Penpusher beams. "Oh, I'm an expert on all kinds of occult theory, but summoning an entity like the queen is no easy proposition. We'll need to prepare first." "Alright, well, what do you need?" Atheling pulls 3 tattered leather-bound books from his pack and hands them to Penpusher. "Study well, dear friend," he says. "These cost me near half my fortune." We also need to visit Founder's Fire," says Penpusher. "The Circle are the greatest summoners in the house. I must learn from them before we attempt to summon the queen. And for the ritual itself, I'll need..." Penpusher's mouth moves silently for a moment. 3 gallows candles, a sack of salt, warding iron, some occultist paraphernalia, and a powerful occult relic. Oh, and a lot of fish, like a really significant quantity of fish." "I will wait here," says Atheling. "We can perform the rites in my room upstairs." Does he actually expect me to get fish? Alright, let's visit Tybalt. Yep, he gives us a great haircut, which I really appreciate. Granted, he was definitely more valuable to me as a crew member, but you know, it's nice to know people out in the world. Let's drink with the people. Who have we met with here? The man at the bar is lithe and handsome, with a gleam in his eyes that suggests trouble. "It's nice to drink in peace," he says, tossing back the cider. "Out there I have an eye out for danger every hour of the day. But the Hallow is safe haven. Thanks for your kindness, stranger." He says drink in peace. We're just gonna let him have his peace. And then I think we're good to go? Yeah. And we don't actually want to buy any of this garbage. Yeah. Alright, yeah, let's go. North, back to the cities. I am forgetting. I should be talking to my crew. We have some people who would like to talk to us. Oh wait, no, sorry. The people who would like to talk to us are dead and gone. Scuttle onward. Right, who did we need to talk to? We need to talk to Char, which obviously we cannot do. Ashen's thing, we know where to go. Record keep, yeah, I guess we... Oh, do we need to talk to Spire? No. Hey, back off. Stupid UI elements covering up all the things that are important. Alright, I'm not going to stress about it too much. Let's just get back to the cities. So... yeah, maybe we should turn around and do the priest thing. We may as well drop off the person at the City of Masks. We'll make a save there, and then we'll go and see about ambushing these priests. Alright, visit the Drifting Bean. Ooh, check that out. Steal a star from the Mad Angel. That seems like a big, complicated, difficult move. I mean, we should probably do it, right? But... Alright, wander the streets. The guy's putting on the play. Make a counter-argument. Yep, okay, we got our reflections and whatnot. Drop off your passenger, pick up a new passenger to Old Hallow. Okay, well, I guess we were going south anyway. It's remarkable that we're going to get 100 guineas for that trip. Advertise for a new crew member. Let's contact an old friend. You know what we don't need is a surgeon. Let's, instead of that, hire a pamphleteer. A lookout. No, a bad lookout. I do not have any interest in a bad lookout. Let's try 1 or 2 more times. I don't really want to replace my current people. I have 2 empty slots and I would just love to fill one of them. Didn't think this was going to be such a big issue. Bishop Landman is not happy to see us, and he's terrible at the job, but he's better than leaving the slot open, I suppose. Yeah, alright, I guess we'll just leave that space open for now. That's a bummer, but I don't know what else to do. We are certainly not getting anywhere just advertising over and over again. You know what, I don't think I want to part with any of this stuff. So... Oh, you know what, I wonder if we should sell our unsanctioned scripture? So we're probably going to get checked when we go back to the City of Keys, right? I'm not going to worry about it for right now. Because we're just going to come back through here, right? Yeah. Alright, let's, oh wait, I could probably spend time with a pet? Yeah. Okay, let's save the game and go see about getting into some trouble. I have no idea what to expect, combat-wise, from some Priests of Anglecrab. But we have a full combat crew, we have decent weaponry. I feel pretty ready for this. The only thing we're really missing combat-wise is the very, very expensive hull you can buy in Carapace. Although I guess it's a little presumptuous of me to assume that I know all of the things we might be missing, given the frequency with which we are still finding new settlements and everything. I'm assuming this is going to be a one of those cathedral tanks. So we'll finally have an opportunity to try one out. Is this... maybe that's them. Maybe. It is indeed. A kinetipede chuntering through the dark, its hull painted with various sharp-cornered sigils. Probably Anglecrab is going to have some feelings about this. Well met, traveler. May Anglecrab grant you visions of an impossible pattern. The priests hail you merrily over the radio. They don't seem to suspect you for a bandit. I do feel a little bad about it. Alright, I demand they surrender their substantial instability. Lord knows I need more instability. You can try to take it from us, says a priest in reply, her voice shaking, but we will twist the world to stop you. You cannot kill us, friend. You can only alter our shape. Their kinetipede flickers. Its legs fold in at a mad angle. Its chimney bends back through itself. A jagged triangle of hull stretches to the ceiling and oscillates wildly. You need to hurry before their entire kinetipede unmakes itself. So, that seems bad. Ready your missiles. Is their kinetipede actually going to do cool stuff during combat, or is this all flavor text? I hope it is. I hope it's a really cool battle, but my guess would be no. Well, I should have noted how many golems we have. Alright, fire a golem right here, and let's also send... Where is Ashen? Where is Ashen? Okay, Ashen's gone... Oh, there's Ashen. Ashen's pretty injured, though. Yeah, we'll send across a normal crew member first. Ow! Boy, those sure were both direct hits. Hey, they're at least trying to defend themselves. That's an unusual outcome. let's move you to here. And then I think I might mortar this room. I will also send a new guard across you're pretty high health. Jasper, go get him. Hey, Jasper. Hey, Jasper. Move. There we go. Okay. Golem plus, I'm hoping Golem plus Mortar will do some real damage to their crew, and also, hopefully, the Mortar kills the gun. Yeah, okay, cool. So one gun down, their other gunner's gonna go down this round. And I have no idea exactly what to expect from that Golem in terms of surviving enemy melee attacks. Ow, my light. Let's get an engineer on that problem. Boy, that sure is a lot of shaking. Send Oliver over. So they did kill the Golem, it looks like. And then... you're full health. But I can't board? Oh, because you're not... That person is at full health, but they're also carrying a wrench, not a gun. I do wish that they were different colors. Alright, so they no longer have guns. The dangerous part of the combat is basically over. Is it time to send Ashen over? It looks like it might be. Oh, please land in that room. Well, that's fine. We have one action left. Okay. We've killed almost their entire crew. It would be nice if we could get a little bit more, action on the repairing the ship. I'll throw another engineer at it. You guys could fix that heart light up. It would be very helpful to me. Well, it looks like they're trying. Okay, that's good enough. Your artillery tears the enemy canopy to ribbons. Plumes of ash and smoke stretch to the ceiling. The wreckage settles into place, its wild dimension twisting finally stopped. It doesn't take long to find the substantial instability. It looks like someone has taken a firm pinch of reality and wrenched it vigorously to and fro. It is a crumpled ball of weightless jags and splinters that warps the world around it and gives you an instant, vicious migraine. One of the dead angle crab priests is bent around the instability, his body stretched flat and thin. You try to prise them apart, but the world flickers and lurches. The corpse has become an indispensable part of the relic. Laplace hops out next to you, his rubber throat swollen with approval. Now you must bring all the components back to the hostage king, he croaks. Well done. You have performed your duties admirably, and will be duly rewarded. Alright, I don't feel super great about it. Okay, so... gotta turn the heart light back on. Leave them in peace. I already have the instability. So let's just turn around and go back to Old Hallow, because we have a passenger to drop off anyway. I'm really disappointed, though. I'm not super surprised, but I'm really disappointed that there wasn't anything, like, interesting happening in that combat, anything angle crabby. Right, for them to go out of their way to describe all that in the pre-battle text and be like, oh no, you better do something quickly before their whole canopy twists itself out of existence. And then for the battle to just be 100% normal and boring, I think it's like that's a big failure. That gives me the sadness. Alright, drop off your ghoul passenger, pick up a new passenger. Bound for the City of Masks. Okay, easy enough. We're actually having really good luck with the passengers so far this episode. And apparently we can visit Tybalt again already. Can I play with my pet too? Indeed I can. Okay. Lots of free sanity restoration. Alright, I think that right there probably ought to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. it has been productive. When you come back next time, tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to be able to close up a couple of these crew stories and then figure out how the hell we're going to move our own story along. Because frankly, at this point, I'm a little stymied. And we'll see you then.